I can read the man and where he came from. How did he come to be that way? And it gives a deeper understanding sometimes of how that situation played out. And the idea of that is to help in more and more letting go, letting go. If we have the idea that that person can never get off the hook because it wasn't okay, it's correct, that's not okay. But holding them accountable, what happens is this is what our energy does. And wherever you go, that energy still is still sitting there.
How confusing was it for you as a child to feel this energy and believe it's you, your feelings, your issues, and then to discover that it's not? How does that work, especially as a child?
Well, as a child, you don't know. You just do what parents tell you, and you follow the rules at school, and you try to make good grades, or you rebel against it all. I did both. Just to cover all the bases.
Why not?
And I really didn't have any reference. I knew at the time I was looking out. I was looking in the universe, like I don't feel like there's anybody to really communicate on this level I'm looking for. I don't know what to call it. I don't know how to find it. There was no internet yet. There was barely TV with the Apple, with the, what do you call it? The rabbit ears.
Oh, rabbit, right. Or the tinfoil.
Yeah, before you had a remote. After my younger sister was the remote for a long time. But yeah, growing up, I didn't know any of that. But the thing I didn't learn till much later too is I happened to be tuned in on a thought level too. You could say telepathy. So I could tell if somebody's telling a truth or a lie. And I don't know if you experience this in the South or not, but you don't always hear the truth. You hear nice things that the other you think the other person can handle, but it might be a little white lie in there. That drove me crazy. Because I could see, you know what I'm talking about.
I would have loved to have you around as a police officer, because knowing when people are lying can be difficult. And I am one of those people that calls it out. So how difficult is it for you to not constantly, look at people and say, I know that's not true. Hey, no, bless your heart. I know that's not true. How tough is that to do?
The thing about this kind of clairvoyant training that I learned is you can teach it. You can teach it to anybody, and that we're all learning to open our abilities, and everybody has innate intuition. That's my sister calling. That, I was just thinking about grandma today, and I almost could smell her apple pie. And then you look at the calendar, oh, it's her birthday. That we have all these little subtleties that are happening all the time. It's a matter of tuning in. As an officer, I'm sure you are acutely aware. You have got body movements and face and eyes and all that, but then there's all these other levels going on too. But all that can be taught too. I'll tell you, a lot of people tend to turn it off though. If I've had many people come in and they say, well, I was intuitive as a kid and it scared me. So I turned it down. Or the opposite, somebody comes into class later. They don't know what clairvoyant training is. I didn't know what it was when I started. I just wanted to learn more about intuition and, abilities and chakras and all that stuff. And I didn't know that this was, that you could teach all this. There's a step-by-step process. Stuff gets in the way and you learn to clear the stuff. And then you're like, oh gosh, if I were just feeling into it, which is kind of a popular adage, I might think one thing, but if I really look and see and know, oh, it's totally different than what I thought. I actually had an opening one time, and by opening, I mean more susceptible to where other people are, kind of energetically. I remember being in a Whole Foods, and you think of a Whole Foods as affluent people and well put together. You see somebody walk by, and she's got on a nice business outfit, and you go, "Oh, she's got it going on." But then all of a sudden, I'm aware, "Oh, her sister has cancer." Wow, okay. And then another guy goes by and is, also business, well put together, sporty, and you think, "Oh, that guy's got it going on. Oh, he's in bankruptcy. Wow." And all this information was there, and I think I turned some of that down for a while because I was like, I really don't need to know that.
That's too much.
But you can dial it up and down. It's under our own control. Just like you've dealt with people too with trauma, right? Where victims of certain situations, that victim space, you can learn to turn that up and down as well, and step-by-step process, or I'm sure there's lots of experts on that, but I see it in a different way when I work with people individually.
If somebody has gone through trauma, what is it like working with somebody
Yes.
like you? What will make them feel at ease?
Yeah.
What can they get from somebody like you? How can we drive them to get help?
Whether people have a past trauma or are just dealing with not enough syndrome, which I would say probably 98% of people that come in have some variety of not enough running, even if they're CEOs of something really outstanding. But I've heard a lot of people say too, in this that have received this style of reading, that it's equivalent of sometimes years of therapy. But what it's doing is looking on different levels. So not just the emotional space. We'll see the emotional space. We'll also see the physical place. I mention that because sometimes if somebody's got some energy maybe trapped in their heart, and their resistance pushing against that, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that. Why do I have chest pain? I need to go to the doctor and get rid of the chest pain. Well, a doctor might help, but if you're getting the right medicine and you still have these two conflicting things sitting here, then what I can help them with is take a look at your resistance to that original thing that's sitting there. Here's the timeline, here's the situation where it came in, and it's just been sitting there getting these two energies hitting together and now causing physical pain. We release our own resistance first, then you can let go of the other part. And so it's reading those energies, and especially if somebody's got trauma, what's really helpful is to look at, okay, very often it's male to female. Let's just make that an example. So a woman has experienced a trauma. I can read the man and where he came from. How did he come to be that way? And it gives a deeper understanding sometimes of how that situation played out. And the idea of that is to help in more and more letting go, letting go. If we have the idea that that person can never get off the hook because it wasn't okay, it's correct, that's not okay. But holding them accountable, what happens is this is what our energy does, and wherever you go, that energy still is still sitting there. Okay, I'm over here and I'm getting rid of that idiot, and now I'm over here and I'm getting rid of that idiot, but wait a minute, it's still an inch from my jaw, right where the pain was. And so the reading can help get a little bit of deeper understanding of how things came about to get to more of a place of forgiveness. There's a ton of tools here too, but ultimately I'm not performing magic on anybody. I'm helping bring out who they really are. And of course, a lot of talk about forgiveness or letting go. That's where the magic happens. I'll tell you. Oh yeah, do the heart.
That's where the magic happens.
I'll tell you a story. I shared this in another podcast, but a man came in and he wrote like a 5-page testimonial, so I can say a little bit more about the situation. He didn't know what it was. I was up at a a healing resort. And he saw the sign. He went, "Oh, what's this? I'm going to check it out." And he came in, didn't really even have questions. And it's not my typical type. He looked like a lot of tattoos, and big like biker guy. Now I ride motorcycles too, so I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But so he came in, sat down. He said, "I don't know. I just saw your picture and I thought I should come in." And so I'm just doing kind of a general healing or whatever, and I get to some energy in his leg. And I said, "Well, this is all knotted up, like really tied up in a knot here." And he said, "Oh yeah, I had 3 surgeries. The doctors said I'll never walk again, and I have pain anytime I go further than so many steps." He used to be very athletic and all kinds of sports and stuff. And I started reading the energy in there, and I said, "Well, there's a relationship here." But the trick is, it's not allowed. This particular one is not allowed by someone's standards. And and I said, "Here's the timeline. Whoop, boom, here's how old you were." And he went, "Oh yeah, yep, I know that one." And it was the same thing we were just talking about, was his resistance. When he was able to let go of the resistance, and then I could help him unravel that a little more. He totally got it. And he's an adult now. That's a long time ago. And he really got it. He really wanted to be free of it. He just really just stepped into it, and he's like, let it all go. He walked back to his room, which is 100 steps to get up to where he was staying. And he realized his leg didn't hurt. It always hurts, but it didn't hurt. And he was like, "This is weird. I'm going to try it out a little more." So he walked another quarter mile down the road, and he couldn't find the pain. The pain was gone. That's how powerful our own emotions and resistance can be. And sometimes that's a dramatic example, but sometimes it's just, we release these old resistances or pain pictures, and then the medicine can work. Then the
Mm.
treatment and the therapy can work. You're like, "I'm using the right stuff. It's the right amount. It's the right dosage. It's the right person." But there's a stuck pattern there, a limiting belief that came in a long time ago.
That is amazing. And what I love about it is that you aren't saying, you don't need these other things, perhaps, the right medicine or the right treatment, but sometimes it's a combination of
Yeah.
things that you need to help you. And that's mind blowing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you might need that surgery, but we can set that up as a sanctuary space too for everything to
Mhm.
go. I actually had a nurse come in one time who needed to have a surgery. She was scared to death of having surgery, and she helps in surgery, and she knew everybody. And I worked with her to set it up, the energy, and kind of help get rid of some of it was a past trauma or something. I don't remember, but get rid of that, and to show her how to set the energy. And she said it was the most amazing experience. Everybody was happy that day. Everything went smooth. It went quickly. I knew everybody. Total 180 of being not wanting to schedule this for years because she was afraid. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, give me a thumbs up, and be sure and subscribe so you get the next one. Meanwhile, here's a couple more videos.